Hello, everybody. Thank you for inviting me tonight. Thank you, William Toe. So, the topic of tonight is brands are like people. But first of all, I will introduce quickly my company. I will not show a lot of the studio work, but just a quick introduction. So BASE is a network, is a group of people. We have 4 studios, one in Brussels, one in New York, one in Santiago, Chile, and one in Geneva. What kind of work do? We do basically branding, and here you can see a lot of some of our work. So as we just explained, we specialize in not specializing, meaning that we work sometimes for cultural institutions like MoMA in New York, Hauser Kunst in Munich, and big brands like for Chanel or Kipling or Eastpak or Adidas, and small brands. So we work for big clients, small clients, big corporation, and actually we believe in this mix because what you learn with a client, for example, in commercial, you can use it in the cultural sector. So that's what we do. So getting back to the topic of today, actually, for years, branding was pretty simple. Actually, a client would come to you, and you would have a name, you would design, you pick a typeface, you would do a logo type, you would choose a color, and you would put it everywhere. That was branding. And what is interesting is that this thing is really changing for the moment. For the moment, actually through internet and mobile and digital, you have what everybody's saying, you have a virtual communication. It's not true. I believe it's becoming even more real because you're in constant connection with the brand. So all of us here, we're people, and we're living, most of us, in big cities. So you're surrounded by people. You know it, we are people together in the street, there's a lot of people around you. But there's another thing that is surrounding you all the time. And this thing is brands. So actually, you're surrounded by people and brands all the time. See here in the street of Tokyo, same in New York, same in Brussels, same in Barcelona, everywhere surrounded by brands. You go to the store, there's people and there are more brands. So it's all these names, all these brands everywhere around you. So you buy stuff, you go home. More brands. Your fridge is full of brands. Your closet is full of brands. So actually, you're interacting with these brands every day. As people, we're all different. We're not like this. So we're going to do tonight a little exercise of 3 minutes with all of us. I would like everybody to stand up. Please stand up. And I would like the first row to present yourself to the person behind you. The third row to turn and present yourself to the person behind you. So go ahead. So row 1, row 3, row 5, row 7, you turn, you meet the person, you present yourself. Go ahead. Present yourself to the person behind you. Yeah, you can talk. You have 1 minute. Okay. Nice, huh? You just met someone. Okay, you can sit down. So what happened? You just had a human interaction. You just had an experience. Okay? It lasts for a couple of seconds, a minute. What did you say? So probably here, you explain your identity. You just said, you probably said your name. You said where you've come from, probably. And you said perhaps your age. What are you doing? This is your identity. This is who you are. This is what you did, okay? In this experience, probably. And the second thing in that experience is you express a personality. So you watch the person and you saw he's dressed like this, he's got a mustache or not, he's had long hair, is he sweaty, sympathetic, ugly, whatever. You had an impression of the personality of that person. Was he smiling, nice, or closed? So these three things is basically, in a very simple way, a human interaction encounter, okay? Brands, and you have a relation with brands that are, this is exactly the same, actually. I will explain you how. So first, identity. So this is who you are, just explain. Where are you from? And probably, what is your promise? What do you believe, okay? This is probably permanent. If you're a girl, there's a little possibility, but you will not become a boy. If you're from Paris, you will not coming from another city. You will always come from Paris. If you think about big brands, have you noticed they always say, I'm coming from a city, for example. Chanel, I'm from Paris. Burberry's, I'm from London. Like these brands, and a lot of brands, when they go global, they say, I'm coming from there. Just what you just did now. And also, they're saying what they do, and sometimes they say what they believe, okay? So let's take an example everybody knows in the room, Google. So what is Google identity? It's pretty simple. Google is born in 1998. Google is an American company, and Google is a web search engine, okay? That's Google identity. But Google promised you something. And said a couple of years ago, what we will do is we will organize the world's information. Wow, that's big. And they said, they do that. Do you believe them when they do that? Do you believe them the same way you believe a friend, I will do this? It's important. You need to believe what the brands will do or deliver, okay? So then we can go on to personality. And that's super important, and that's my job. It's working on personality and brand personality. Vladimir, do you know this guy? How would you describe him? Everybody has an idea of how Putin makes an image in his head on how he's behaving. How would you describe him? Different, okay? We're all different. Brad is behaving differently from Vladimir. They're different. All people are different. All brands are different the same way in the way they're behaving, okay? So, how do you behave as a brand? How do you dress? What is the look? What is your attitude? And this is changing. Brand can change their attitude. They can dress differently after a couple of years, okay? These tech brands, for example, Twitter looks like this. Skype dressed like this. Foursquare dressed like this. Facebook dressed like this. They don't do the same things. LinkedIn dressed like this. That's the equivalent of Facebook in Russia, dressed like this. And Bing dressed like this. Interesting. They all dress the same. Why is that? That's really strange. They do different things, they have different personalities, but they all dress the same. They have the same look. Or all are these brands? 15 years, okay? Something like that. Teenagers, they all dress the same. Just the same. Brands are like people, so these teenager brands, they do different things, so they dress the same. It's interesting. They will probably change in the future. They will probably dress differently. So get back to Google. How would you describe Google personality? Okay, let's check that. Very simple, very quickly. Okay, this is what you get when you get on Google. Clear and accessible, right? Easy. Clear and accessible. Google attitude. Then, is it intuitive? Yes, pretty much. Okay? What else? Is Google generous? Yes, sounds like generous. And on top of that, for example, Google has YouTube. They have other brands. And you know how you call it that? We call it family. Family of different brands. Brands are like people. Do you think Google is helpful? Yes, they're helping. Google is helping you every day. They're working on a car that is self-driving. Makes sense. So they stick to their value, they stick to their promise, okay? Google Glasses. Is Google inventive, innovative? Yes. So we can add some more, but you can feel that Google, as a constant attitude, is behaving like a person. And even, you remember that identity and personality crosses. They said a couple of months ago, we're not only organizing world's information, they changed it and then said, we want to leave the world a better place. So that's a tough promise to get to the people because they realize their responsibility. We need to trust those guys. Do we trust them? So today, if Google is doing all this, and we all know Google, it's like a best friend. You use it when you're lost, you use it when you need information, so it's like a best friend, and a best friend, you need to trust him. So you get to the thing that is the most important thing when dealing with a person or dealing with a brand is trust. So let's imagine that, for example, you go home. Earlier, you go to your room and you find your wife or your husband cheating on you with your best friend. So what would you feel? You would feel anger, you would feel betrayal, deception, strong emotion. Strong emotion. That we all know this kind of feeling. It's big deception. You can have that with your girlfriend, boyfriend, friends. Big deception. What happened to Instagram a couple of months ago? Instagram changed their terms of services. Without warning, they said, we can use your images you're posting for advertising. We can use it to make money. We can use it for commercial things. This appear, and that's why now it's so important, but because of internet and the mobile, everything's changing. This appear on internet, what happened? People got mad the same way you would get mad in your room when you see your wife cheating on you. So this goes on Twitter so quickly, and it spread in one day. This news is spreading. Everybody, and a lot of people that were using Instagram felt betrayed. They don't have trust in that brand anymore. Even more, Mia Farrow here says, trust me, don't trust them. Deleting your Instagram account is satisfying. So trust is key. So on and on. So big drama about Instagram, so big that Instagram had to go back to the initial terms of services. But I'm sure that these people are lost forever with Instagram. That's a fact, sure. Because trust, you build it with years, and you can lose it like this, okay? Because brands are like people. It's exactly like with a friend that would kick you in the back. It's not your friend anymore. So this experience and these values of the brand and this personality, identity, has to be validated by your experience with that brand. So an example of a redesign we did of a network company called Mobistar. That was the logo we did for them. And actually, you interact in a 360 way with that brand. So the experience is a 360 experience. So obviously, the experience on mobile, but of course, the experience on the physical space of that brand. It has to be consistent. And I was amazed when I was working with this company. I asked them, what are your values? And they said, oh, we're dynamic, we're innovative, like all the same words all over again. And then said, but the most important thing is customer relationship and transparency. We are a transparent company. And I said, no, you're not. This is the invoice, what you get when you You have to pay your phone bill every month. And they said, yeah, we're transparent. And I said, no, because you put little text on the bottom, things that you cannot even read. You cannot be transparent if you send invoice like this. There's something hidden down there. And they said, yeah, we're transparent. We want to be transparent. Remove that, I said. They said, oh, no, that we can't. You're not transparent. It's okay, but don't say you're transparent. So you have to be true. The brand has to be true on how they're talking. And even more, customer relationship. They said that's the most important thing. So when you have a problem, you would call these guys at Mobistar. The problem is that last week my mom called. She waited for 20 minutes on the phone, hearing a flute solo for 20 minutes. So the thing is that if they said customer relationship, oh, we care about your customer. No, you don't. We're waiting 20 minutes hearing a bad flute solo. So it's not true. So the brand today has to exactly say what the brand promised. So you would say, yeah, but these are all tech examples. No, it's true for all kinds of brands. I will show you a work we did. It's a small job. It's a company in Brussels called Dandois. What do they do? Cookies. Great cookies. The best cookies, all made by hand since 1829 in Brussels. It's so good. It's so tasty. It's the best. When I was a kid, at Christmas, we received Dandois cookies. The daughter of Monsieur Dandois was in my class, so I know this brand since I'm a kid. And this brand was local, Brussels. It was looking like this. Pretty crap. Pretty ugly, no? Yeah, pretty ugly. So they had these tea rooms, they have all their products, and this is how they look. So it was pretty sad. I met with Monsieur Bernard, who is the owner of this family company. And he said, we're doing well, we want to do better. We want to get out of Brussels and become an international business. And we are a family business, and I told him, so you want to be a global family business. So what we did, we did first a survey in the company. We interviewed everybody, and they said, the most important thing for us while we're doing our cookies is really to keep the human aspect of it, the relationship, the quality of human beings. That's the most important thing. And I said, that's perfect. That's a perfect base to start, because brands are like people. So we gave them 10 advice. First of all, you're existing, remember, when you say, I'm born in that year, existing since 1829. So we will use a passport to build your future. We told them, change your name. It was the name Dandois. We told them, change it to Maison Dandois, means house. House, because you're a family business. So you have to tell it. Tell your story all the time, like you would do with a friend. Tell your story. Then Dandois is about people and family. Explain that. Tell that all the time. Then we told them, what is your best cookie? They said, speculoos. It's our specialty. So we said, insist on your specialty. Speculoos, forward. Now, you want to go to the world. Don't forget to tell where you come from. Brussels. Then we told them, link with quality friends. Great hotel that share the same values as you do. Great hotels, great restaurants. So you have a group of friends that are sharing the same ideas, the same values. Link with these people. Then we told them, say it simple, be consistent, keep these 10 advice all the time, and smile, because they're serious people, but they're not taking themselves seriously. What did we do? This is the new logo we did for them. And it's pretty funny. It looks like old, but it's a new logo. So, how did you do that? It's a puzzle logo. Basically, what did we do? First of all, we changed the name Dandois to Maison Dandois, because Maison means home. Okay? And a home is where you have a family, because it's a family business. Second, the typeface. we took a photograph and we took the letters that were on the house where the company was created in the new logo. So we're using the history to build the new story. Next, the year 1829. It's older than Belgium. Say it. It's awesome. There's not a lot of companies in Belgium that are older than Belgium. Next. You have to put Brussels, because if you want to go to Japan or China or United States, you have to say, I'm coming from there. Next, and that is so great. The street when this house is built is the Butter Street. So he said, oh, we put that on the logo because that's so nice. It's a great story. Focus on one product. Remember speculoos. So we did this thing, and the speculoos is in the logo, always. So we push forward that thing. The little mill was in all packaging of Dandois since 1829, so we kept it. It has to stay there. And the last thing is that we didn't say speculoos. We invented a new word, spectaculos, speculoos, because they're the best in the world, it's spectacular. So we did that. With this logo, we did absolutely everything to unfold the brand. But we needed more. So we took the cookies out of the oven that people are doing by hand. And we did all the packaging using that gold dots everywhere. Just to have an iconic packaging that with always a combination of these polka gold dots with this logo telling the story. But that's not the most important thing. Inside, there were cookies done by great people, by hand, by family business. And it will always be like that. The stores play generously. They're so generous in the company, we play that even more in the stores. So a lot of cookies. It's tasty, it's yummy all the time. And then we give them a voice because they're great people, they're very funny. So we did interviews and we invented with them, and that's great also, is to co-create with your client to do that. We co-created this tone of voice of the company. Do you know Mannequin Peace? You know, this guy peeing, that's a symbol of Brussels. It's 100 meters away from the store, the original store. And so, for example, this sentence means Brussels without speculoos is like Mannequin Peace without peeing. So they said, fine, we would use that sentence. So that's the tone of voice, is how the brand talks. Brands are like people. So when you open a box, you have these hidden sentences always reminding you that people are talking to you. Okay? So these are, for example, the windows where we can use that. And with them, they said, yeah, actually, we would like each box of cookies being like a gift because we're like that. We want to be that. So now it's redesigned and it's all looking like a gift. This is how it looks in the city. In Brussels, people love now to walk in the street with the new Dandois bags. But not only in Brussels, in other cities like Tokyo now where they open a store. The people of Dandois, remember we did a survey at the beginning, we interviewed them. So at the end of the process, they're super happy. They're ambassador of their own brand. They're super happy. They're proud of it. It's done by hand. They're giving gifts to people. It's warm all the time, all across the line. Even for a special Christmas gift, these are the shapes for the molds for the speculoos. And we make these figures telling stories about Christmas and about Dandois. This is the new store in Tokyo, doing very well. It's a luxury products there. It's great. And now, on sale in Galeries Lafayette. Big success. And a lot of articles everywhere. So the other day, I was in the school when I was a kid, because my kids are now in this school, and I met the owner of Dandois, and he was like, and I said, hey, how are you doing? He said, it's great. It's really great. Company is like, it's great energy. This change is like totally natural. What you did with us is us. So we can express this in a natural way. And on top of it, he said, and we're growing our turnover by 40%. So he's a really happy client, and it's because we did it with them, respecting their values. And the success is not because of the design. It's not because of we choose gold or black or whatever. It's not because of the logo. It's because it's true to what they are. It's because it's true to what they believe, and it's just its expression of that. And I believe it's our task, our designer, and certainly as communication designer. This is one of our 5-minute posters at base. Is that as designer, we don't have to design to impress other designers. That's not our work. We have to design for people. We have to help them to express that. And that's the future, because brands are like people. And I think, and I truly believe, first as people, we have to see brands like that and surround ourselves with people, with brands that we truly like, really. And brands, they have to behave like good person. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Thierry, for your insights on branding. It's really great. Any questions for Thierry? How would you describe Hong Kong as a brand or as a person, as you say?
I don't know. I'm too jet lagged.
you too jet lagged. Okay. I should ask you in the next few days.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering, you're talking about brands as personality, identity, experiences. What if a client approaches you whose product you don't really believe in, or you think it's a lot of problems with it? What would you do as a designer?
The first thing is to be honest and tell him.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's exactly what I explained with the Mobistar stuff. You just say it, I don't exactly believe you. You have to first build a good relationship with the client, and that's key. You have also to build trust with them. But actually, if you want to advise well and design well, you have to be able to talk freely and openly and saying, I don't believe, I have a problem with that.
Have you walked away from a client that refuses to change?
Sure.
Yeah?
We have to, of course. That's a responsibility, yes.
Great, yeah. I'll take one more question from the floor. There's one there.
My name is Yoris from Indonesia. What if the client wants to change? So he understands now that he don't want to cheat again, but how to regain the trust? Because a lot of people, let's say like one brand, he make mistake, and then the sales drop 50% and never come back.
I never been in the exact process of a client in such a drama situation, but actually the clients are coming to us in a moment of change always. So the key is to put on the table what are the things that are identity, which is what they are, and exactly what they are as a brand. You do almost like psychology with them to understand exactly what they believe, And then you can build their personality or their change of personality or change or look. That's why I'm looking dress. You can dress them differently, but the dress has to fit them and with their attitude. So I think this attitude now is becoming extremely important. You have a lot of people coming and saying, I'm green and I believe in the future of the world, blah, blah, blah. And they don't mean it. It's not true. It's because it's a trend. So when they are like that, and I'm like, are you sure you care about that? And then you discuss and you discover there's a lot of good in everybody, in every brand and every person and every client. So it's a matter of discussion with them. For example, we're finishing and opening the next week the Olympic Museum in Switzerland. And for example, the Olympic movement is such strong values, it's easy with them, because their values are so existing in more than a century. So that's easy. But for others, it's more difficult to define that. And it's our work to define that and then translate it to design, concept and design.
Let's give another round of applause for Thierry.